take any item on this planet and make a fingerprint of it. You then take that fingerprint and you put it inside of a file folder. Put that fingerprint on a piece of paper. Put that file, that paper, inside of a file folder, and then set that file folder in the cabinet. That is the blockchain. The cabinet's the blockchain. Except that cabinet, every time you add a file folder to it, which is an individual block, the file folder is an individual block inside of the blockchain. Every time you add a file folder to it, that cabinet is copied. An exact duplicate of it is put at 20 other businesses in this town. That is the blockchain. That's how it functions.
So there is no backing it up because there are...
As long as there are more than one computer connected to another computer that has the blockchain, there is a backup made. Because every computer that connects to it, it's point to point. So it would be like this building having a breezeway with that building, and you can walk in between the two. Every computer interconnects to another computer like a mesh, like a spider web.
Peer-to-peer network, same thing as BitTorrent, really. I mean,
the exact principle. The exact principle.
Okay.
So everything has a fingerprint. And actually, you could take it a step further. This is out of toddler terms, but everything on planet Earth has an atomic value.
Okay.
And that is known in the scientific and physics world. Every single thing on planet Earth has an atomic value added to it. A bar of gold has an atomic value. And all gold has the exact same molecular atomic value. So that's your fingerprint. You take that fingerprint, you put it on a piece of paper, it goes in that file cabinet, that's your blockchain. Everything's got a fingerprint.
Okay.
So basically that's what the blockchain is. It is a hash value, which is your fingerprint, stored in a single segment, a block, a digital block. And then that digital block is inserted at the very end of that file cabinet.
And every time that we put one in there, another copy of that
gets replicated to the other locations.
Okay. So when you have a bunch of people using the same network, you have more copies of it, more secure.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, verifying the block. Verifying the block is an entirely different scenario. Where every single time you add a new, and this is where it gets complicated, because new file folders inside the block are confirmed and verified, their legality, if you will, or their whole presence, their whole existence is verified with the previous file folder that was put in before them. And they now contain all the previous information before them at the exact same time. And that's how it's verified.
Okay.
So then you can take that file that was just added. It contains a copy of the file before it, and the file before it, and the file before it. And you can now verify the transactions that were in the files before it using multiple versions of those transactions. So when they verify this file folder, that's why if you send a transaction on any blockchain network, it takes X amount of confirmations to be considered verifiable and legal.
right.
Normally, the general synopsis is anywhere from 3 to, depending on the system, 3 to 15 confirmations.
Okay.
And a confirmation is a new file added to the system, a new folder added to the system, because each folder contains all the stuff that happened before it, a copy of it. So with each confirmation, you've got a copy of a copy of a copy plus your new info. You got a copy of a copy of a copy plus your new info. So with each confirmation, the computers involved can go back into those files, look at them and say, okay, this info matches this info. So this file folder has now been confirmed, and here are the new transactions. When we get our next confirmation, we're going to compare the new transactions here with the new file folder to make sure that that data matches the new stuff here. And it just keeps going. It's an ever-loading domino effect.
So going back to the file cabinet analogy, it gets verified by everybody, and we all agree
You
that
got it.
I put
Social construct.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just like
Digital social construct.
Digital social construct, 100%.
It just like we had been talking about before, what gives something value when we all agree that it has
all
value.
agree that it has value.
So when we all agree that this happened, it happened.
Same principle would apply. I would now take these 3 confirmations that I just got, all the new digital data. I would grab those 3 folders, walk across the street to the replicated copy, sit down with Art, because that's his building across the street, and say, pull out your 3 previous versions. Here's a copy of what we've got. Let's verify and make sure that these 3 folders match each other. He confirms with me, yep, I see they match 100%. Great, let's replicate it. Let's go to the next person. And now we confirm again.
And this is all happening a million times.
Light seconds, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Nutshell.
Okay.
I think I got it. Did
Yeah,
Did
I
miss
think you
something,
did.
Alan?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean, that was it. You covered all the basics.
Cool.
Of the whole thing. No, that
I don't know
was
how I
good.
did it, but okay.